Welcome to the Why We Started podcast, the show that gives business owners a platform to share the real story behind their brand. I'm your host, Vanessa Grace, and each week we dive into the why behind the business. Whether it started from a passion, a problem, or a random what-if moment, this is where we explore what makes your business different from anyone else in your industry. Because behind every business, there's a story worth sharing. Welcome back to the Why We Started podcast. Today's guest brings color, joy, and just the right amount of sass into everything she does. Please welcome Jennifer, also known as Sassy J, the heart behind Artistic Ways by Sassy J. Hey, Jennifer.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. I know on the screen it says you're Ty, but you are Jennifer, right? Who's Ty?
Yes, Ty is my son. He is the second part of Artistic Ways by Sassy J. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
He's like your right-hand man?
He is my right-hand man. He can fill in when need be, and he is the entertainer. So I'm the artist, and he's the entertainer. So he likes to entertain people while they're painting.
That's awesome. So tell us a little bit about what is Artistic Ways by Sassy J.
So Artistic Ways by Sassy J is a mobile/craft paint party business. I go all over Jacksonville and the surrounding areas to provide fun little sip and paints or different kinds of craft parties to people of all ages, sizes, whatever, and to different locations.
That's awesome. So when you say like artistic parties, what kind of services do that you guys paint? Is it just painting, or is there more things that you do?
I started off just doing paintings only, and then I realized that, after my regulars come for many, many times, they're running out of wall space. So I'm like, well, I got to switch this up just a little bit. So I started adding in some different types of crafts. I started adding sea glass. So that was a huge hit last year. So we did sea glass parties. Everything you can do with sea glass, we were doing it. So sea glass, I started doing paint your hat. So like your summer hats, we started painting on those. We also do ceramics. We do our newest thing that we've been doing, a couple new things we've been doing lately is faux stained glass. So that's basically crushed glass that you put in wood cutouts and then you seal it with resin. And those are like little fun sun catchers, super cute. And everybody loves it. Even men love doing that one. And they are so artistic. And so it's just fun to see the men kind of outdo the wives sometimes. Or by, cool. And then we've also started doing paint your pet pop art. So that one has been a really popular craft as well. Because you're still painting, but it's a little bit different style. You're doing reverse painting on a picture frame. So it's really cool.
That's cool. So when it's like your pet and everything, does that mean like, do we like show have a picture side by side while we make it, or how does that work?
So basically they would send me their picture of their pet. I print that off. And then when I show up at the paint party, I have their pets all, laid out for them. They come in, they pick their pet. And then we pretty much take a picture frame. We deconstruct it. So basically take the picture frame completely apart. They lay the plexiglass or the glass on top of their picture. And then we use a black marker to do the outline. And then we take a white marker and we do some accents with the white marker. And then we start to paint it. So when they get done and they flip that over, and they have they also paint a really cool background as well. And they flip that over and they put it on the background. It's like, it's really cool.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yes.
That's awesome. I mean, I loved being able to experience your classes. I will say that your painting classes are definitely different than most like the paint and sips that you may have seen around town, right? Because those are like each time you go, they walk you through on how to paint an image. Tell us a little bit more about what makes you different than those kind of places.
So I provide more of an entertainment/paint party. Like I'm not really a painting class, but it's a paint party. So basically what sets me apart from them is I have pre-traced canvases. So I bought this really cool printer. It's called a sublimation. I put sublimation ink in it, and I'm able to trace all the canvases before I even go to the party. So instead of having to do everything freehand, when you show up, it almost is like a paint by number, but without the numbers. The cool thing is that even though the design is on the canvas, you can still do, if you want to add something, if you want to go totally rogue, you can. But what that does is it helps the painters, not be like, oh my God, I can't draw a stick figure.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to worry about having the, design looking perfect. It's already on there. All they have to do is just paint. And if they want to add extra stuff, they can certainly add extra stuff. They can change the colors. We also provide music. So we do a lot of music, fun, upbeat. Let's get the party started. Let's go. And then we do music trivia. And then at the end, we have a drawing for a door prize. So it's just, hey, let's go get your friends. Let's go grab some girls. Let's go have some drinks and let's paint. It's 2 hours of pure fun.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. And you said that your son now goes with you on these events. Is he? You said that he's like your DJ.
Yep. So when we first started my paint party business, he went to almost every one of these with me because A, I wasn't very good at it, but B, he was really good at providing all the entertainment. So now he works a lot. So he comes on my big parties still, and he'll do that for me. But I was kind of getting offended because everybody liked him more than they liked me. And then when I showed up and he wasn't there, they're like, "Where's Ty?" And I'm like, "Oh, he's busy. He's working." But he really is the life of the party. The cool thing is now that, since he's done all this for me, he started his own. He kind of branched out on his own. So now he's DJing on his own. So he does weddings and parties and all that kind of stuff on his own.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love it. So you both get to kind of do your passions. You get to do
Yes.
artistic stuff, and when he's not with you, he's DJing, which is his music passion. That's awesome.
Yes. Yep.
So let's bring back into your story of how you even got to bring artistic ways to life. So tell us a little bit about the backstory of like, how did that even happen? Like, were you always an artist? Like, tell us more.
I had no artistic skills whatsoever my whole life. I was always creative, but I never was artistic at all. And that one just kind of fell on my lap. When we moved to Florida, I had been a dental assistant for 23 years back in Missouri. And when we moved to Florida, I didn't want to get new certifications. So I worked for a dental implant company, taking phone calls. That was cool. Loved it. But then we moved to Tampa. And when we moved to Tampa, I was starting a job working for Capital One as one of the customer service tech reps. Different line of work completely. I was stressed to the bone. But when I was going to be working from home, I wanted to put some art on my walls. So one of my coworkers at the dental implant company, she was paint pouring. And so I was kind of watching what she was doing. I'm like, I'm just going to try this, see if I like it. Well, the first paint pour I did, I fell in love. And I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. You don't have to have any skill at all. You can do this. And I just found that it was just a cool thing because you never knew what you were going to end up with. So I started paint pouring. Shortly after I started paint pouring, we had an intruder come into our house one day on a Sunday afternoon. And I had to pull my gun. It was very traumatic. But after that fact, I had PTSD really bad. And I realized whenever I would go into my art room and start making this paint, mixing paint and doing paint pours, that it just calmed my nerves. I'm like, oh my God, I can be in my house and not be feeling like I need to run for the hills. So that's how I really kind of got started in art. And 4 weeks into doing the paint pouring, I'm like, you know what? I can teach this to other people. So I held my first paint pour class at our house. I had like 15 people show up. We had just moved into a new neighborhood. And I'm like, well, that's a really good way to meet people. So I did a free class. I'm like, hey, come just do some paint pouring. I mixed up a bunch of paint and they came. So it was a win-win. I got to meet new neighbors, got to meet new people. I got to try out this paint pouring stuff and share, what I was falling in love with. And so that's how I got started in the art business. So I did the paint pouring for a good 3 years. When COVID hit, my son, he was always trying to get me on TikTok. He's like, Mom, let's do a TikTok dance. And at the time, I was pretty chunky monkey. I was a heavy chick. And I'm like, I am not dancing on TikTok. I said, this is white girl. I can't dance at all unless I've got lots of brain. I'm not doing it. I'm like, you know what? I'll just do a paint pour. I'll just paint pour and put the video on TikTok. So my very first paint pour I put on TikTok, I think I got over 1,000 likes or 1,000 new followers in one day. 1,000 followers in one day. And people were like, oh, this is cool. Show us some more. So that's what I started doing. I started doing lots of TikTok videos and people then started buying my stuff. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. So there were, 26 different states bought from me in like 3 years, in a 3-year time span.
Wow.
I had several videos go viral. So it was just a lot of fun. I was even doing like the lives on TikTok. So that's how I really kind of started getting into the whole art thing. But then it just moved forward after that to the paint classes or paint parties.
So what do you feel like you enjoy more? Obviously you said that the being able to do art has been a good way for you to escape reality because it's been so therapeutic, you went through that traumatic experience of having someone break into your house, and the fact that you've had like art as in general just be a way for you to cope from it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That what like what do you feel like you have the most joy? Is it more like doing it yourself, or do you like doing these classes where you teach people more?
I think I enjoy sharing it with people more
Mm-hmm.
because, people come in, you never know what people are going through in their lives, right? Everybody has their story. Everybody's going through junk. A lot of people keep that junk hidden. They don't want to say anything. So it's really cool to actually work with people because I've always wanted to help people. And I've learned that doing art is a great way
Mm-hmm.
to help people. And also, it's cool when they say, I can't draw a stick figure. And I'm like, you can do this. I said, just pick up the paintbrush, act like a 6-year-old, and just paint. And seeing people, especially when they keep coming back and they start, and they're like just really shaky and they can't paint a thing. And, their first one may have been kind of rough, right? But
Mm-hmm.
when they come back, I have one lady, she started with me at the beginning and I want to buy her paintings now. They look so good. So now, I mean, you can just see how much she's improved and knowing that I kind of had a hand in helping her, find her passion in painting because sometimes people have never tried it before. I mean, if you've never been to a paint party and, you don't think about it, but you may find something that you really enjoy. So I love seeing people grow in themselves and find a new passion. And they're always like, oh, I really needed this. This was so so relieving. I just really enjoyed it.
That's awesome. I think you might have answered my next question, but I'm still going to ask you just to see if there's something else. Was that like, what do you want people to feel when they come to your parties? Like when they create something with you?
I want them to feel excitement. I want them to be like, oh my gosh, I actually did this. Because my thinking, and I've always thought this since I started doing art, was if I can create something beautiful in a world that's not so beautiful, then that just makes you feel better. So
That's deep.
yes, because sometimes this world is crazy, right? And sometimes it's not
Mm-hmm.
so pretty and we have junk, right? But if we can create something and we can look back and think, oh my God, I painted that. That was so much fun when I did that. And look how good this looks. That's what I want them to feel. And I want them to feel like they can create beautiful things. And even if it's not beautiful, somebody's going to like it. But
Right.
they at least had fun doing it.
That's awesome. What was like the best reaction you got from someone that came to your class?
The crotchety old woman who was mad when they walked in the door, and when they leave, they're smiling and like, oh my God, I love it. I love it. So that's like the best feeling ever.
When they come in mad feeling, but like leaving happy.
Yep.
That's good. I love that.
Yeah.
So for everyone that's listening, before we record this podcast, I actually got a chance to experience Jennifer in her element doing a event with Sassy J. And so we did kind of like a content shoot together. So I got to see the setup, her bring her energy. I got to see Ty do his energy as well. So what was your experience with me coming to you? And because you are obviously being a part of the paid version of our podcast, where I'm also going to give you a business highlight reel. So what was your experience with that? How do you feel about having someone basically help you tell your story?
No, I think it's great. I'm super excited about it. It was cool having you there, being able to see it firsthand, kind of behind the scenes kind of a deal. So that's been super awesome. And I really, I love that you're doing this, why we do it, because, sometimes, yeah, people may think, oh, she's just a crazy artsy fartsy woman, and they really don't understand my thinking behind things. But it just gives me a way to explain why I do what I do and why I love what I do. And I just love this whole thing that you're doing.
That's awesome. I love that. Jennifer and I also have a mutual meeting through networking. We're in a networking group together, and every day we kind of do a like intro of what our business is and that's how we start our meetings. So I will say that being able to actually experience your class was definitely more like a aha moment, where like I understand what you say every meeting of what you do, but to see it actually happen, be there in the experience, like it made more sense, and made more sense with your personality, because like you are like 100% sassy and I love it. But like when we just meet virtually online every week, you only get like half your version, but being there with you in person and seeing how you interact with your son, doing the music, and how you're like getting people to do the trivia, to keep even though it's like everyone's kind of zoned in, locked into creating their masterpiece, but kind of still bringing those fun vibes and laughter. It was very whirlwind. So I loved to be able to experience it. So on my end, it was really cool. to see everything. So I really recommend, if you are in the Jacksonville area, to definitely check out Jennifer, because she knows what she's doing. She's also one of those people too where like you talk about how your masterpieces that they're creating, you just want people to paint like they're a 6-year-old. But at the same time, if you're like me, where I just will paint like a 6-year-old, but it still looks messy. I'm like, can you fix this? And then you do that as well, right?
Yep.
You definitely like will help kind of make it look a little cleaner if there's something I can't physically do. You are still
Yep.
the art teacher in that sense.
Yeah, I always
Right.
tell them, if your painting's looking crappy, just raise your hand. I'll come make it look happy. But I'm not a miracle worker, so but I can always make it look better. Yes.
What's one thing people might not realize about running a creative business like this?
My brain never stops. I mean, my brain is going, going, going. And when I first started my business, I was never organized, but it really takes a lot of organization, a lot of planning, a lot of preparing. I mean, it's not just, I mean, you get to see the things that I do just when I'm at the paint party, but there's so much preparation and marketing. And my gosh, there's so much that goes into it that it's almost unfathomable, because I had to teach myself how to do everything. I mean, I did have some helpers, some, mentors that I worked with, but there is so much you have to learn to have a successful business. And what the main thing I learned was, even though it's something I do at home, I still have to get up, I still have to get dressed. And when I don't have business, or when I'm trying to find new business, I go out and I take my flyers, I take my paintings, whatever I'm working on, and I go from business to business. I say, "Hi, I'm Jennifer. I'm with Artistic Ways by Sassy J. Do you guys do any events with your residents? Or have you guys thought about doing a paint party here?" And they're like, "Oh, no." And the good thing is, with doing a paint party, like, it is soliciting, but when you go in and say, "Hey, this is what I offer," they're like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." They don't kick you out the door real quick. So
Mm-hmm.
so I have found going face to face and building those relationships, building that rapport, it's tend to help my business a little bit better. I've done over 300 events since I've started doing
Wow.
my paint party events. So I try to stay very busy.
Where do you normally do these type of events?
So I started off just doing them at bars, breweries, restaurants, those kind of places. And now I've kind of expanded into like more of the medical field, which has been fun. So I have a company that's hired me to go to Florida Blue. I go to Florida Blue twice a month, and we do a paint party for the more for senior citizens, but we do it for them. And then I also have partnered up with a concierge doctor's office, so they have me come into different facilities that are 55 and older, and I'll do a paint party there with them. Recently, just as of yesterday, I'm going to be partnering with Baptist Medical Center as well, and so
Cool.
they have, yeah, I'm excited about that one. They have a wellness program that they have out there. And so I'll be at 3 to 4 different locations, hopefully monthly, doing paint
Mm-hmm.
parties for them as well.
Well, that's so awesome. I love that.
Yes.
I did want to mention, because obviously your name is Jennifer, but you go by Sassy J. Where did that come
Mm-hmm.
from?
When I get a few drinks in me, I get really sassy. So I'm a Gemini. I just turned 51 a couple days ago. When people get to know me, the sass comes out. And I'm pretty quiet. I mean, I'm very quiet until you get to know me. But once you get to know me, those things kind of roll off pretty easy. I'll come back with smart comments and stuff. So that's where the Sassy J came from.
That's awesome. I love that. No, that's very true. Yes, you are very reserved until we kind of get to know you. I like that. That's awesome. You talked about creating and sharing joy on your own terms. So, what does that mean to you now as a business owner?
So I'm always looking for the next best thing, right? Because if you're just doing the same thing over and over again, you become stagnant. You get content in what you're doing. And me being a Gemini, I don't like that. I like things to change. I like different things. I like to keep things fun. Because if you're just doing the same thing over and over again, you're going to wear out your audience, or you're going to have a hard time finding a new audience. So if I keep things unique and different, then I'm growing and they're growing, and then my business keeps growing.
Yeah, that makes sense. If someone is listening and has had a creative passion but haven't really acted on it yet, what would you want them to know, or what would you say to them?
Step out of that comfort zone. Comfort zones are easy because we're used to it. But if you step out of that comfort zone and try something new, you might like it. You might like it a lot.
What's new for, I mean, I know you just said that you just got a new partnership with Baptist Health, but what else is new coming for Sassy J? Do you have any events coming up or people that you would love to work with in the future?
So I have my regular venues every month. So that's usually like Disco Witch Brewing in Yulee. I work with a lot of Mellow Mushrooms in Jacksonville. I think I've been to almost all of them. At Mellow Mushrooms, I do the Palms Fish Camp. I do Engine 15, Voodoo Brewing down in San Marco. So I have my regular venues. But what I would also like to start doing is I'd like to start partnering with veterinarian offices because I think that paint your pet would be a great option. And recently, this was pretty big for me. I had a restaurant, Whiskey Cake, in St. John, no, off the town center. They reached out because I used to do a paint party for them when they were I Declare. But they reached out and they wanted me to do some art inside the restaurant. And I'm like, I don't know if I can do that. And then he says, well, it's going to be an I-beam. And I'm like, I'm scared of heights. But I'm like, let me take a look. I'll take a look and see what I can do. And so we came up with a plan. So I did. I went and I painted at Whiskey Cake. I painted the inside, just some extra art they had. They already have some other art pieces there that weren't mine. But if you go in, there's a great big I-beam kind of by the couch area that I painted. I also painted the restroom sign with the roses. So I just did that last month. And now this week I've been working on outdoor signs. They wanted me to actually paint on the restaurant. I'm like, I said, I'm not painting on brick. I said, I can't fix that if I screw that up. But so I'm painting some wood plaques that they can hang outside. So I'm almost done with that. So you'll actually be able to see it on the inside and the outside. So I wouldn't mind stepping out of my comfort zone some more and doing that for more, not venues, but like restaurants or whatever. I would like to start doing murals. I can learn how to do anything. I think that would be a fun option.
That's really cool. Whiskey Cakes is the first mural that you've experienced.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's really cool. Yeah. So you okay. So now next time the Whiskey Cakes is in the town center, right?
Yes, it's right next to Bahama Breeze.
You said that used to be what I Declare was. They
I Declare,
rebranded.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're talking
and
about.
it's actually really good. It's really good.
Is it like a bar kind of place?
It's a restaurant bar, but it's more, you would definitely want to wear a little bit more. You don't want to just go in shorts and stuff. It's kind of more upscale a little bit, but it's not like high price end. But it's definitely a good date place.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely would love to check that out for sure. And then for your classes, is there any new classes that are coming soon as well?
Yeah, so I do Island Wing because we were just at Island Wing today. So I do Island Wing in Barter Market. I do that once a month. And like I said, there's other restaurants I do those. I also do private parties too. So I've had businesses reach out to me, like Amazon. I've done an Amazon team building party for their higher ups. I've done that. I also do in-home private parties as well. So if you can't make it to one of my parties and you have a big enough crowd, I can actually come to you.
That's awesome. And if they ever wanted something kind of to maybe hire you to do a piece for you, not necessarily a mural, if they mural, maybe yes. But if it's just something, do you have a website or your social media that shows kind of your portfolio in some kind of way?
It's a great question. I do have a website, but I'm not much into custom pieces or what do you call it? Oh, there's a word I'm looking for and it's gone out of my brain.
Personalized?
Commission pieces.
Okay.
So I've done commission pieces for people before, but it's kind of hard because I may not have the same vision they have. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of stay away from custom piece or commission pieces. But if it's something that's pretty cut and dry, I can do it. But if it's something that they want me to just create, I'm always worried that I'm not going to be good enough. Or I don't know. I rather just create a piece, and if they like it, they buy it. Because then I don't.
We all have. Yeah, I was we all have imposter syndrome in everything that we do. Yes. It's just part of being a small business owner. So you're not alone with that. So what do you feel is your favorite? I mean, obviously you have all the different classes, but what is your favorite thing to paint? Are you more floral? Or are you more people? Are you what is your vibe?
I am beach all the way. Give me a beach scene and I can paint it. I can paint the crap out of palm trees. So anything beachy, that's my favorite go-to. I think it's because I tend to go towards the blues. I like the blues. Yeah. So I like the beach scenes and I really do kind of like the florals. And there's even things that I like. I look at that paint and I'm like, God, that's ugly. But then I paint it and I'm like, well, that looks really cool. So you got to step out that comfort zone. That's why I'm always telling people comfort zone's boring. So I haven't found a piece that I haven't really liked yet.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I I think there's very telling when it comes to an artist, knowing what their specialty is, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool that you're a beach person. I mean, it ties into perfectly just being a Florida girl now. I know you were in, was it Missouri, you said?
Yep, I'm born and raised in Missouri.
Okay, but now you're a Florida girl because now you're all about the beach. Missouri does not have a lot of beaches.
Yes.
So I love that. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today. What is the best way for anyone to reach you?
So they can reach me through Facebook, Artistic Ways by Sassy J. That's a great way to follow me. I know I'm kind of old school. I mean, I do have Instagram. It's also Artistic Ways by Sassy J. But I post more on my Facebook page, Artistic Ways by Sassy J. Or they can even follow me underneath my regular name, which is Jennifer Faulkenberry. I started recently doing these walks of wisdom, and I've been posting those on my personal page. But I think I need to kind of cross post them. But they're actually just like little snippets of just, trying to give uplifting information and, things to think about. So that's been kind of fun. I think I'm going to start cross posting that on my Artistic Ways by Sassy J. I also have a website, www.sassyjart.com. You can go on there and you can actually see different designs that you can choose for your paint parties. And then I'm on TikTok. I have a lot of stuff on TikTok.
Well, yeah, because everything started from TikTok.
Yep.
Is your TikTok name the same as well?
Yep. Artistic Ways by Sassy J.
Perfect. I love that. Well, Jennifer's information will be in our show notes, but thank you so much for telling about your story. We got to learn about your business, but also what made you just stop everything that you were doing and start creating this art magic, basically. Definitely check out our Instagram, the Why We Started podcast, because we will be sharing Jennifer's business highlight reel tomorrow, and you can see a more summary of what she does and why she does it. So definitely check that out. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Vanessa. I really appreciate you.